Now, John did not receive any responses back from the Teachers Freedom Alliance or the Oklahoma State Department of Education, and I had some more questions of my own about this new complaint. So joining me on the program tonight is State Representative Ellen-Pogemiller herself, speaking unedited about this and if someone can be held to account for something after they've already left office. Representative, when did you start to notice that the ethics complaint you filed last spring was playing out somewhat, or at least appeared to be so, when it comes to what's happening now?
Right. So, in March, I filed an ethics complaint with the concern that Superintendent Walters' relationship with Teacher Freedom Alliance was outside of the scope of his job, and was very concerned about it. And then as soon as we heard that Superintendent Walters was leaving to not only just join this association, but to lead the Teacher Freedom Alliance, immediately I was like, wait, what? I just saw in March he was promoting, this entity over all other entities. And I just felt very strongly that we as taxpayers deserve to know what has transpired over the last 6 or 7 months. And try to figure out, what that relationship was like, and was there any financial incentive for him in his role as promoting this association?
The biggest question I'm going to get from folks is, he's leaving office, he won't be a public official anymore. Does the Ethics Commission still have any power to pursue anything once someone leaves office?
Yes, it is my understanding from my communication with them that we do have an opportunity, again, because it's taxpayers' dollars, and we deserve to understand what transpired while he was in office. And so he doesn't get to go untouched just because he leaves the position.
What do the next steps look like? I think you filed something today again, is that right?
We are in the process of filing it. I am working with an attorney. So we were in communications with the Ethics Commission last week, and had hoped that my initial complaint would be able to be used again. We were told on Friday it wouldn't. So the attorney and I are trying to work out another way to file the second complaint kind of under the same umbrella, but with new information. And so that should happen either today or tomorrow. Within this week, we will be filing that. After that, it goes to them, and then how they research and gather evidence is in the Ethics Commission.
If you had to guess, how long would it take before you get some kind of an answer, even if it's the answer you don't want?
Yeah, I feel like 2 months, we would at least, I think, hear if they have seen enough evidence to continue the case. That's kind of what happened last time, and so that to me is my hope. It doesn't mean that it'll be solved, but I think it will allow us to know if the Ethics Commission is going to take it a step further.
Something I'm asking all lawmakers, obviously, whether you liked the guy or not, we are turning the page on education. What are you looking at as far as how the future of education goes, and us changing the course, whether we liked him or not? What are your feelings about this moment right now?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm a public school parent, so I'm thrilled, to have a new voice. My hope, it is someone who believes in our public school system, who understands that we have a teacher workforce shortage, and that we need to address that with all power and, with all collective entities to try to address that. And then a real conversation about what's going well in our schools and what's not. Superintendent Hoffmeister used to start every state board meeting with a positive story about our school districts. And I said, there's something about that started the meeting on the forefront of school districts are doing well. How can we help those that may be struggling more? I ideally would hope that that the governor selects someone who has experience in a public school setting, ideally with administration, but really ultimately wants public schools to do well and believes in public schools.
Representative, anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap things up today?
No, I'm grateful, honestly, for people who have been so engaged in trying to ensure that, public schools, teachers, students feel supported during these kind of tumultuous times. And I hope that people continue to stay engaged and, help and volunteer and show up, because our public schools needs our community now more than ever.
Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.